What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I'm Mr. Straight Facts. So, first things first. Like I always say, if I get something wrong, I'm gonna be one of the first ones to say I got it wrong. What's up, Mark? Yesterday, what I got wrong yesterday was the girl in the photo that we were talking about was not the girl that they were talking about. That was with Donald Trump for hours. And that was reported that it was earlier on. They didn't have a name. The Republicans unredacted the person's name, and it turns out it was Virginia Giuffre. Now, her family members didn't know that. I am not a family member of someone who has had this kind of scrutiny put on their lives, knowing that their sister unalived herself because she couldn't deal with it all. But I saw the sister-in-law and the brother just a few minutes ago or so before I went on air, and they were in tears because she was outed. And again, I didn't out her. I didn't know who she was in this, but there was Donald Trump's Republicans that did that. But I was wrong. I got it wrong based off the information I got. I got it wrong. They said it was Virginia Giuffre and not the girl that got the $22,500 check. So I want to give that same energy. If I fuck up, I'm going to tell the truth. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, let's move on to the next story. Nope. I fucked up, got the wrong information, but I'm giving you the right information now. That's how we keep it factual. Like I always want anybody, if you guys knew that last night, if you find out anything that I'm saying that may be outdated from what I said before, I have no problem with you holding me, to my feet to the fire and saying, fuck you, dude, you got it wrong. And I'll totally have no problem with that, none whatsoever, because we're supposed to be like iron sharpening iron. We want the facts, and when we don't get it right, we need to actually be just as strong and talk about it. I'm gonna talk about it throughout the show. Mr. Straight Facts got it wrong, so therefore I give it that same energy and I give it the same amount of time throughout this show. I am going to repeat it over and over again. It was Virginia Giuffre, and it was not the other person that got paid $22,500. That still was a real thing, though. They did have that check with Donald Trump. That was not fake. What was wrong was that the name behind that redacted name was Virginia instead of that young girl who was also a victim. Either way, these two people were victims of Jeffrey Epstein. Now, the one that was in the house in Epstein's house with Donald Trump for hours was Donald Trump, and it was Virginia Giuffre. Now, that being said, there is another thing that came to light to me today, and that was what we talked about yesterday also was we had kind of like mentioned, I believe, about Virginia Giuffre and the Prince Andrew thing. He lost his being a prince. Prince Charles, King Charles, got rid of his princedom because of this. Obviously, it's more than just hearsay. There's some realness to it. Now, what we didn't go into was that, and I found out today, is we find out another lie that Ghislaine Maxwell said, which should put her in jail even further into the jail. Now, this is the interview she had with Todd Blanche, the one we were talking about yesterday. She had an interview with him, and one of the things that she said was that she had, and I believe it was an interview, she was on a phone interview with somebody else. I don't know exactly who it was, but she said that she did not take a photo. There was the photo that Virginia Giuffre and Prince Andrew that had her in it, and somebody took the picture. We've all seen it. Let me see if I can. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna put it up here. This picture right here. There's Ghislaine Maxwell. You see Virginia Giuffre when she was 17 years old. and you see Prince Andrew right there next to her giving a hug. And the thing that we find out, like 100% today, um, based on the fact that she wrote a book. Virginia had a book written. I don't know if she actually wrote it, but it's her life. And in it, she describes this photo. Now, mind you, in the interview with Todd Blanche, she denied and said it was a fake photo. In a previous interview, I think it was either a phone interview or something like that, she said it was a fake photo. She's already in prison. She said it was a fake photo. It was not real. She doesn't believe it was taken. None whatsoever. It couldn't be taken the way it was taken. It couldn't have happened. Like she knew like angles or something. Like it just couldn't happen the way you see it. It just couldn't have happened. Okay. So we find out today, of course we already knew, but facts come out today. She's lying through her teeth. She needs to go back to jail even more years. Each one of these lies should tack on years. She's got 20. She should be up to about 30 now. She does not need to be handling dogs. She need to be in a prison, locked up in a cell, like, and eating fava beans and shit. That put a muzzle on the bitch. That's what we need to do to her. Not just having her just roaming around. This is a predator. I mean, a demon walking amongst us, and you're acting like she's okay. I guarantee you something she done did to the dogs. Either done pinched it, done hit it, done did something just to cause it pain. Because this bitch loves putting people through pain. So if the dog could speak, yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're letting her be around the dogs with nobody around the way they're giving her all this privilege. People coming in, and then the wardens helping her with her commutation application and all that, getting it back and forth. This shit don't sound right. That warden needs to be fired. I don't know who could do that, but somebody needs to fire that person. But let's get back to it. In her book, she explains what this photo is and how it was taken. And she goes into detail, and I'm not going to go into detail, but she goes into detail about how this was done. This photo, she was already a victim of Jeffrey Epstein's. She was 17 and had already been a victim of Jeffrey Epstein's. We don't know how long prior. At least I don't. And so he told her that she was going to be able to meet a prince. Would she like to meet a prince? And she was like, yeah, that'd be cool type of thing, right? Just on some cool tip. This picture was taken because Virginia Giuffre wanted it taken. Why would she want it taken? Because at this point, she wasn't supposed to do anything with him. She was just with Jeffrey Epstein. There was no impropriety. There was no like, you're going to do this with him or whatever. This was before they went out, because they all went out to eat and did some kind of, entertainment or whatever. She requested the photo be taken because she was like, her mother was enamored by this king, queen bullshit in England, right? I call it bullshit because I'm not enamored by it. I'm a democracy. I ain't into that bullshit. But regardless, she gets to ask for the photo, and she tells exactly what went down. This photo was taken before they went out. She wanted the photo to show to her mom so that her mom would be pissed if she met a prince and didn't give her a photo of it. So the photo was taken by Jeffrey Epstein. You see the little flash in the back? That's Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein, in an email, validates that he took this picture. He said he took it. When that dude came, a lot of people took pictures. His staff and employees took pictures with him. But he was like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't no big deal. He was trying to make no big deal out of it. Ghislaine Maxwell said the picture was fake, never happened, couldn't have been taken. Prince Andrew said, never took a picture with her. I don't remember taking a picture with her at all, type of thing. Didn't take a picture with her. If I did, I don't remember. It's not a thing. So these two, the Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell, they got their story together. Deny it never happened. But too bad Jeffrey Epstein wrote in an email on the day or day after, yes, we took a picture with her and Prince Andrew, and so did my staff. What's the big deal? So the picture was taken. She lied, and Prince Andrew lied. Prince Andrew, piece of shit. Ghislaine Maxwell, piece of shit, and should go back to jail for life, not 20 years, for life. She doesn't deserve to get back out. She has not had any remorse for doing what she did. How do you get something when you have no remorse? You've denied it, yet you've been convicted. You have not shown any remorse, and you're going to try and get out of it? Since when has that ever happened? That people get out of prison after they're gone without saying, I have done bad, and I'm a new person now. I'm not the same person I was before. I've gone to Bible school and I've taught people this, and all this shit that you did to improve. This lady is still out here lying that she's not a pedophile while in prison trying to get commutative and getting favors. Donald Trump has done some serious dirt in order for this woman to literally get out slowly of the situation she was in. Why else would she get this type of treatment? And people forget, it's not just Donald Trump. It's Melania too. Melania was in those photos. And Melania, turns out, she was a mail order bride. She was in photos of a mail order bride thing back in the day. Now, we all knew she was in that modeling thing, and that's what it was about. That modeling thing was like some kind of mail order bride type of thing. And it had her photos of her being a model and all this stuff like that. And now, again, they did this a lot back in the day. That was just a thing back in the day. I don't know if it was illegal. I ain't saying nothing bad about that. I'm just saying that's what she was. So it makes sense when Michael Wolff talks about she being the first what's his name? Jeffrey Epstein was on the plane when they had sex for the first time or something of that nature. He was there when they had sex the first time because it was his type of people that set them up. So she got her basic freedom from being obscure and not having shit and broke to hang out with a and somehow be connected to a master pedophile and end up marrying one that's been accused by a 13-year-old to be a pedophile. She ends up marrying this whole group of people, and she hangs out with them, and they got pictures together and partying together. And you're gonna tell me that she don't know nothing about it? Nope. Can't tell me that ain't real. Can't tell me that ain't real. There's no way in hell you don't know about it. You notice how she's very quiet. She ain't got shit to do with it. They don't bring her name up, even though she's in all these pictures. I think they need to start bringing up her name as well. I think they need to start asking her questions when she's out and about. So what do you think about your husband being considered a pedophile? That doesn't make any sense. Do you think he ever seen you do anything like that? Why would he be in a house with a girl that's 17 years old by herself? Why would he be in there for hours by himself with her? Okay, just want to make sure. Did you know anything? You was hanging out with her too. What do you think about Ghislaine Maxwell? Huh? I mean, do you think she's crazy? You think she should get out? You think she should stay in? I mean, you guys hung out a lot. How do you know her? Did you know anything about it before it made news? Seems like Donald Trump knew. You didn't know? Did you know your husband knew? Why don't y'all start asking her questions? Ask Melania some of these questions, media, because you guys leaving her alone, and I don't think you should. She's in the photos with the master pedophiles, and Donald Trump knew about it. And he caught Donald Trump in a kind of like a loop here he can't really get out of. Donald Trump said he noticed that she was taking Ghislaine Maxwell. He said Jeffrey Epstein, but Jeffrey Epstein's like, I didn't. Ghislaine Maxwell did. So he addressed Ghislaine Maxwell to told her not to stop taking girls from his spot. So how do you know she's taking girls if you didn't know what she was doing? Because you didn't say she just took one girl. You said she was taking your girls as if you owned them. Melania, did you know that he had girls? I'm just questioning. Because it didn't seem like you got too mad with the fact that he was having a relationship with a porn star for a hot second. It was a one night stand or whatever. But you think that was the last time and the first time he did that? I highly doubt it. You can't really bite, the mouth that feeds you, right? Because the hand that feeds you, rather. Because you're broke without him. You didn't have anything without him. You were quote unquote mail order bride, means you wanted to get to America and become a citizen without going through the process that you guys are putting all the Latin people through and treating them like shit. You wanted to jump ahead of that, in which you did, because you came here illegally. You didn't have the right, qualifications for you to become an immigrant in this country or become an American citizen. You didn't have the right qualifications. You got it through the rich guy that you met either on a site or through the major pedophile. Yeah, we need to put some heat on her. She don't need to be just sitting there, just royalty, treated like all the rest of the the presidents of the wives and the wife of the president. She doesn't need the first lady. She doesn't need that same treatment as a regular first lady. Nope. You knew about these things, and if you didn't know about these things, why are we questioning her? They question everything about our president before that, the Obama, Michelle Obama. What kind of clothes she was wearing? Oh, she got a sleeveless this, and what she's saying? Oh, she's gonna do this. She got food. What's up with her be best? What she got now? She ain't doing shit. She's disappeared. I thought the president of the wife of the president is supposed to be doing something. What's new? What's good, Melania? What you supposed to be doing? Are you out here, trying to scathe off bullies again with your be best bullshit? What are you on? I don't see a program you're working on. Are you trying to fuck up Christmas again for the White House? I mean, I'm trying to figure it out. Because they leaving her alone, and I don't think she needs to be left alone, because I truly, in my heart of hearts, think she knows something. You were a part of that group. You were a part of that seedy the male bride type shit. And you were a part of that male bride type shit with a pedophile in his ring of billionaires. So, yeah, I'm not sure if you are of the ilk that you should be. It's crazy how we put basically a criminal and a prostitute as our president. That to me is insane. Went from a black queen, a black king, to two white prostitutes and pedophiles as our president. You guys hated black people that much that you put a pedophile and a prostitute, the PPs. You put the PPs in office. The PPs, pedophile prostitutes, you put them in office as the head people. Jesus Christ. That's what they did. Now, that's what I see them as, because if anybody accused me of being a pedophile, I fight it. I ain't gonna sit here and be like, I ain't talking about fighting in like trying to harm the person that caused it. No, we going to court, baby. We going to court. You ain't gonna call me that shit and I ain't fighting back. That shit ain't just gonna linger around. No, we gonna fight it. And this man's trying to hide it. Only people trying to hide shit is criminals. If you didn't do anything, what you got to hide? Come out. That's the way I feel about it. In the court of public opinion. This isn't legal. This is my public opinion based off of the facts that I see. All right, so let's get to this picture again. Was taken by none other than the master predator, pedophile, Jeffrey Epstein. And the two on the outskirts right there with the same color shirt, the ones who partook in this shit. Oh, when they came back from dinner, see, Virginia didn't know, But when they came back from dinner, they had already planned what they're going to do with this girl. But she was all enamored. He's the president, Prince, da, da, da. When they came back, Jeffrey Epstein told her, "You're going to do to him what you do for me." She had no idea that that's what she was supposed to be doing. Then she goes on, you can read it in her book. Then she goes on to go into like gory details about what happened to her from that guy. And if you think about it, what she goes in detail about, she's doing the same things that she would do for Jeffrey Epstein. I'm just saying. Sorry, and prayers lifted up for those families that went through this, especially Virginia's. And may she rest in peace. But that's what happened to her. And this creep, pedophile, sex trafficker, narcissist, psycho-ass woman is getting special treatment from Donald Trump and Todd Blanche. See, Todd Blanche was even asked, why didn't you have some questions for her? Whenever she said what she said, why didn't you have any backup questions, anything else to go back at her? As a lawyer, that's what you're supposed to do. He was on a fishing expedition. He wanted an answer from her and stopped at that so that he wouldn't get an additional answer from her. His questions were leading just to get what he needed, and then from there he stopped and moved on to another topic. But when she said what she said, he didn't want to know the truth. He wanted to hear what he wanted to hear so he could make a judgment. You ain't gonna say nothing? Is this all you're gonna say about it? All right, that's the information that we got. And more likely, down the road, it's going to be a few weeks, maybe a month, you'll get transferred into a nice place. Stay good there, and we'll get you out. She lied about this photo. So did Prince Andrew. Jeffrey Epstein didn't, though. He just lied about what happened that night. But he didn't lie about the picture. The picture's real. I'm just saying. All right. So Todd Blanche was, I guess you can say, addressed about, the things that he did in this. And he didn't like, being, George, I forgot, it's not Stephanopoulos, but the Crypt Keeper's ex-husband. I call it a Crypt Keeper. That Donald Trump spokesman last presidency. And this is what Todd Blanche had to say back to him, because he's like, oh, I didn't know about what was going on back then. I want you to understand everything they got at the estate has, which is basically copies of everything. What they have, the federal government has, and then some, in multiples. Like I said, it was stated that you could be like in an average size room. I say like a room that's 10 by 12, I believe they said. And the amount of documents that they have, photos and also like they have, would fill that room, all around the room and all the way up to the top of the room. Fill the entire room. That's how much information they have, documentation they have, the federal government. And so this right here is what Todd Blanche had to say. And him saying, George, you've never been confused for a trial lawyer. I mean, Todd Blanche lost in this situation. But anyway, and these kinds of posts explain why. When I interviewed Maxwell, law enforcement didn't have the materials Epstein's estate hid for years and only just provided to Congress. Stop talking. It's unbecoming. They did have a lot of these documents, and they still do. It's just that this man did not go and look for them. He did not go. Here's the thing. Todd Blanche it wasn't supposed to be there at all anyway. There was no reason for Todd Blanche to be there. He's not the person that would go and speak to her about anything. But this dude is acting as Donald Trump's personal lawyer, not for the people, which he's supposed to be working on the Constitution and working for the people. We are paying him for the American people to do the work of the American people, not to do the work of Donald Trump. And he's out there literally doing the work of Donald Trump with our money going to him. If you want to do the work of Donald Trump, ask Donald Trump to pay you to go speak to this person. You don't take our plane, the people's plane. You don't take the people's money and then go and do Donald Trump's work. That's bullshit. So he goes there to speak to her just to pull out stuff to help Donald Trump. Again, Todd Blanche should be looked at to be arrested for what he's doing once this thing is over. I say charge him. At least look into it to charge him. Because again, this man is literally trying to get a pedophile out to protect a suspected pedophile. Right? One that Jeffrey Epstein literally said today that he could take down, not he didn't say it, but it was reported today that he said something to the effect that anybody could take Donald Trump down, it's me. When him and Epstein like split and was no longer cool, Epstein said he could take Donald Trump down. Now that was I saw it in the New York Times today, and they were talking about it throughout the day, about what he was talking about. Jeffrey Epstein cast himself as Trump insider and wanted to leverage potentially damaging information about the president and his business dealings, according to emails with associates. That's why I labeled this live that, Jeffrey Epstein was about to drop a dime. Hell, he dropped a whole like bag of dimes and nickels on Donald Trump. And then he ended up dead. I'm not saying Donald Trump did anything. I'm just saying he ended up dead when he was about to drop dimes on Donald Trump. He literally said, I can take him down. And at the time, a lot of people were trying to take him down, and he had the key to do it. He ends up dead, and Ghislaine Maxwell ends up running away, taking her money and running somewhere, and they find her ass, and they get her, try her, put her in jail. She's left with the bag, and she's got all this information. You can't tell me everybody who knew you, even the billionaire guy who works for Donald Trump right now, says that he was nothing more than a briber. He had no other degrees to do anything else. He was a master briber. So why else would Donald Trump be in cahoots or friendship with a person that's that low down, that's bribing people to make money? In this treasure trove of documents, there are a crap ton, for me at least, what I call a crap ton, of Excel sheets with, names galore. And then some, and it's blacked out, redacted on how much money these people were doing. They got Donald Trump on one of them where he's paying Jeffrey Epstein somewhere in the neighborhood of $9,000 something, $9,300 or something of that nature. You don't know what it's for, but that's the only one that's unredacted. Is Donald Trump's name, and it has how much money that he's either spending or receiving. It looks like he's spending. It doesn't say anything facetious. It's just saying these people were in business with each other. It makes sense when Jeffrey Epstein said, me and Donald Trump did a lot of business dealings, and that he knew Donald Trump didn't have $40 million to buy the home that he bought off from under him. It makes sense because he does have Donald Trump's information. And how do you get somebody's information if you barely know him? And if you were just a little friend, and he's cool, you ain't got my information. Hell, most of my friends don't even have my number. They got it in their phone, but they can't remember that shit for nothing. And this dude got a whole spreadsheet with all their names on it. Don't know what these people have done. But if these people became friends or connected to him after 2008, there's some suspicion about you. Because why would you get into business with a pedo? I'm just asking. If I knew somebody was something, I'm steering clear of said person. Because again, I don't want to be near you, bro. You radioactive. Somebody said, oh, he's a pedo. I was like, oh, okay. Dude, stay 10 feet away from me, bro. I don't know you like that. The cops come. I don't know you like that. Go, scatter, get lost. These people are doing business with him. Mm-mm. Too many people out here to do business with than with a criminal. It ain't about to do that. But that was the situation. He said, I could take you down. I could take him down. What you gonna take him down for? He already done accused this man of money laundering with the Russians, which trips me out because he knows that Donald Trump was money laundering with Russian people via real estate assets. And then why is it such a huge stretch to think that Donald Trump used these same types of relationships with these Russian oligarchs to try and win the election in 2016? They try to act like this man had no connections. There's something shady about that. Again, if you go back and look at that 2016 around there, maybe it's not close to 18, but at the end of the investigation of Russiagate, they never said that Donald Trump wasn't connected. They said they couldn't do nothing with him because he's president. They never said he didn't do anything against the law. Matter of fact, they insinuated that he did. So when it's gotten to the point, you even hear news, MSNBC and other stations that consider to be in between, Republican and Democrat, CNN, different independent anchors, they all like, well, Russiagate wasn't. I'm like, wait a minute. Go back and read Russiagate shit. That shit was really like he did something wrong. It's just that they couldn't do anything because that's how we found out that you had to look at this one little memo that said that you can't prosecute a sitting president. There was shit in there that he could have prosecuted, but he didn't do it because he was president. It didn't say that this man was absolving of doing any illegal shit with Russia. It didn't say nothing about that. But that was Donald Trump that started saying, see, I didn't do anything. Russiagate. It's Russia. And here we get the reporters, anchors. Well, Russia was a dud. How is it a dud? It came out with him doing stuff that was wrong. You just can't take him to court with it. But out of the court of public opinion, this dude broke laws. We just have this memo that says you can't do nothing about it. I don't understand the logic behind this shit. How is it that media literally keeps acting like this man didn't do shit with Russiagate? He did. Just because that memo's there that absolves him of it, and now with the him having immunity, I don't care what the courts say about immunity. Fuck all that. If you see somebody that says, oh, I can do whatever, but I got immunity, you can still be a criminal or crook. What the hell? You're going to say, oh, because he can't be put in the jail, we can't ostracize him and put him over in the corner and say, nah, we don't have nothing to do with you. You still got to do work with him and deal with him? No, he's a president, I get. But once this is over, prison should be his next home. And Democrats, once you get in this immunity for president shit, y'all gotta rewrite that. I don't care what the Supreme Court says. Somehow that's got to be changed. I don't know. It's got to be a possibility for it to be changed, because if the president comes a Democrat next, and let's say the Democrat is a little shady, there could be some shit that goes down that the Republicans are gonna hate. You can't predict the future. They think they can, but you can't. You never know what kind of person you can put in there with unrestrained power. Some people who may seem cool as hell can turn into demons. Point blank, period. Sending to El Salvador. Exactly, DJ. That's what I'm talking about. El Salvador. Put him in that prison. I want him under a prison, dog. If you can prove that he did it, forget that memo. Throw that memo shit out, because the memo ain't even a law. You guys are going off of somebody or a group of people who made a decision that has nothing to do with the actual constitutional way to be able to do shit. Memo ain't nothing but somebody saying that it maybe it should, maybe it shouldn't, and maybe some committee. But it didn't go through any law. Didn't go through the House and get passed. Didn't go through the Senate and get passed, and didn't get passed by the president. Didn't get passed by the Supreme Court. So I don't understand how y'all working off a memo as if it's gospel. It's not. Americans want their president to be treated just like any other human. You break laws in this country, no one is above the law. There's no reason to put that in the Constitution. No man is above the law. When you literally have a man right now that's above the law, that shouldn't be. None whatsoever. Okay, so Jeffrey Epstein was about to drop a dime on Trump, and he ends up dead. And now I don't know all who had a gripe with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm sure a lot, because this is a man that literally had a lot of enemies. You can't have people for ransom for some dirt they did forever. Sooner or later, they're going to try and one-up you. Now, I don't know what happened. They say he killed himself. I don't believe that. He's a narcissist. He done been through this before. He had to believe he's going to get away with it. He had to believe his money was going to get away with it. He'd done it before. It's going to happen again. All he had to do was leverage the people he had, the judges, the lawyers, the prosecutors. And he had that one prosecutor that gave him a sweetheart deal. He got him somehow. They need to check his records and see what he did behind the scenes. That dude was a part of this thing, because there's no way you're going to get somebody this great of a deal. And for him to be doing that, his boss, who would assign him this case, has to know some dirt too, because there ain't no case where you give somebody this type of leeway. They had a relationship, or they quote a relationship. They were a pedophile with children, young girls, and you say that they had paid for prostitution with children, and he gets a smack on the wrist and gets to go every day and rape more kids and come to this fake ass prison shit, then get let out and commit the same crime for a decade or so more after he did this, and never stopped. He was doing it while in prison. Get out, go do his thing. I gotta go to work. The man didn't have no job. And if they had done their due diligence, they would have known. And also, while he's in prison, this is what he did, right? This is what he did. And he got convicted of it, but of some other lesser crime. Why didn't they freeze his accounts? Knowing that he was doing this with little girls. Trafficking. They knew it. They didn't freeze his accounts. They didn't take the money and think that it was ill-gotten money. That don't make any sense to me. Let you just sell like substances, and they find out you're selling substances, and you go to jail just for a little small time. Let's say small time is a lot of time for some people, but let's say you go to jail for 3 years, you get out in a year and a half. You ain't coming back to your millions. Your millions are gone. How is his billions still there after he got arrested and they understand he ain't had no job? They would have dug into, you don't have a job. Your main source is these girls. We got to cut that money out. No, he came back out rich as he was before, continuing the same shit he was doing before. I venture to say his business didn't even slow down during that process. I'm just saying. It makes no sense. So, I mentioned yesterday about that interview, and I got the wrong name too. It was Laura Ingram. Some people say Ingraham. I don't know how to say her last name. Crypt Keeper Jr., as far as I'm concerned. But I got the clip of him talking, and how this also goes back to him talking about this Walmart crap. But I want to get to the H1B visa aspect to it, because y'all, I ain't gonna put all the stuff that happened, but you can find it yourself. I'll tell you about what happened about this here recently. What's up, everybody? I see you in the room. Rude, I see you. What's up, Head Busser, Demetrius, DJ, Vera, I see Dennis. Got. I saw Mark earlier. All right. I see you, Nina. Who else I see there? Miss Robin. Hey, Miss Robin. Complete chaos. I see you on a few left already. All right. Okay. So we're going to get to this interview and break it down a little bit. Yeah, DJ, MAGA's flipping out, yo. Let's go ahead and check it out.
I think we are doing phenomenally well. This is the greatest economy we've ever had.
This is the lie part. Huge. If he's moving, if he's breathing, he's lying. But he's trying to sell it. You'll see what's happening.
Their talking points, oh, course are high, course are high. By the way, the only thing is beef. Beef
Coffee
is a little high because the ranchers are doing great. Coffee, we're going to lower some tariffs. We're going to have...
What's beef? Beef. What the fuck is that shit, yo? It's beef. He's slow, yo.
Some coffee come in. We're going to take care of all this stuff very quickly, very easily. It's surgical. It's beautiful to watch.
See, here's the thing. When he does, he admits. If you listen to this, listen again.
The thing is beef. Beef
coffee
is a little high because the ranchers are doing great. Coffee, we're going to lower some tariffs.
He admits right there that the price of coffee goes up because of tariffs. He admits tariffs are a tax, and to bring down the prices of things, lower the tariffs, and the prices go down. He admits it. So MAGA, how is it that he just told you you don't have cheaper prices because tariffs are fucking everything up, raising the price, and you guys will defend him by saying tariffs is bringing in a lot of money for us, your money, and where is it going? Because you're getting broker. We all are. And this man literally admits it. Coffee. Oh yeah, coffee. Well, we're going to bring down the tariffs and you can have cheaper coffee. They're bringing down the tariffs on everything else that we do not have an industry here for. Again, MAGA, I know my people already know this. Tariffs only really work effectively to build America. And give you a quick example. If me and a few other people in America, let's say thousands of us, decided, we're going to start building, factories here to build cloth or whatever, right? Take our cotton and start making our own shirts and not going over to Indonesia, Malaysia, China. We're going to do it here. We got enough cotton here. We just need to put the things together, make it happen. We invested, and then we start having a industry here for making cloth and sheets and towels and shit. Okay, so we came here and had that huge, and we building this huge infrastructure of that. And then you throw tariffs on once we're up and rolling, and we got other countries buying from us, and mostly America buying from us. Yeah, now tariffs work because tariffs is really kind of throwing up a wall so that America can be in this little circle. If I can get it right here, you go. America can be right here. You throw up a little wall so that nobody else can buy. We don't buy from nobody else because it's too expensive to buy it from China. We got it in America. We got everybody buying from America. That enriches us all who has these businesses. We get richer and richer because you have to buy your products from America. That's the only time that tariffs will really work for the American people. Well, you got to understand something. The factories are gone. They're not coming back. And the ones that they're talking about, that he's bragging about, their promises, and most of the promises so far on some of these industries have fizzled out. These promises, some of them were when Donald Trump was president before. They decided not to do it. Matter of fact, the CHIPS Act, when they started doing chips again, that literally came from Biden the second time around because he got them to come back after they said they weren't going to be here with Donald Trump. Donald Trump left, they were gone. That land was not used. The land being used right now is Biden bringing back those industries. Got the deal signed, sealed, and delivered and they have to build it. Again, it takes years to build these things. So it's not going to happen overnight. Donald Trump's telling you guys things are going to happen overnight. That's what he promised. And the 90% and the 80% black people's told you that ain't going to be able to happen, yo. And, 60% of other cultures like that told these idiots it's not going to be able to happen. These industries are not coming back. Think about it. Are you going to buy a t-shirt for $435 that's just a regular ass t-shirt? No, you are not. So why the hell are you trying to bring back shit that we just can't manufacture just yet? You don't put the cart before the horse. It's like you got the horse you got the cart pulling the damn horses. It doesn't make any sense. You build the industries first. Or if you want it to happen like right now, you check on the industries that we have here that are thriving. Right? Let's say beef. Beef. Like he said, beef. Let's say beef. If beef is thriving and we're doing well, then you shut off beef from other countries. You don't invite beef from Argentina. You shut it off, which means America has to buy all this beef. And if we are a massive beef eater, we buy it, and therefore they grow astronomically. Those businesses grow. And that's how that would work, if that's what we wanted to do. But only the industries that we already have. We don't have the industries that China has. And China is light years ahead of us in building these manufacturing companies. We're so far behind because of politicians and billionaires wanting to make astronomical money by sending everything overseas and doing it for a penny and coming here and selling it for $1,000. Capitalism. Extreme greed capitalism. But it is what it is. Hopefully you understand that, but it's so hard to keep trying to teach them just simple, like this is like basic, like dealing with economics. Basic. You don't have to be a genius to know this one, but somehow they feel like they have to be. Do I have a whistle? What's that about, Lynn? All right. He don't know beep. So that is the situation. That's how tariffs work. Donald Trump literally is telling his people right this second, coffee's high because I have tariffs. I take them off. Coffee goes low. That applies to everything that we don't have in this country and that we don't sell in this country, which is mostly everything.
Going to have some coffee come in. We're going to take care of all this stuff very quickly, very easily. It's surgical. It's beautiful to watch. But our costs are way lower. Now, Walmart came out with a statement that they do every year for many, many decades. And they said that a Thanksgiving meal costs 25% less this Thanksgiving, coming up, think of that, than it did last Thanksgiving under Sleepy Joe Biden.
And this right here tells you that MAGA, Republicans, even Laura Ingraham or Ingraham, however you say her fucking name, they don't read. I mean, they are just caption readers. Caption readers. 25% less than last year. Didn't go to check to see that there's like 15 different, it was 29 items the previous year. And now it's like 15. It's 14 items less than the previous year. On top of that, many of those items are generic brands from Walmart. So out of the 15, I venture to say half of it is a Walmart generic brands. So not only did you cut it almost in half of what you gave everybody, you put that half of that as generic brands, and it's just 25% less. Which goes to tell you that it's actually fucking more. Because if you add it on, those 9 additional items or 14 additional items, it would be way more than the price that they have now. And they didn't read none of that. Laura Ingraham didn't read none of that. Just let the man lie. Just let him lie. This is not news. They need to take that news off of this shit.
That's a 25% reduction. I think that's right. And if you remember when I first came in, the first 2 days I had a news conference, eggs, they were hitting me with eggs. Eggs had quadrupled in price. And they're screaming at me. I just got here. I didn't know about eggs. And Brooke Rollins, our agricultural commissioner, secretary, did a great job.
He said, they don't know about eggs. I'm like, I just got here. I'm like, dude, you're the one who sold everybody. It kills me. It's like, I just got here. I'm like, dude, you're the one that told people that you was going to do it in a day. Maybe you should have told them it's going to take you 6 months to do. But you told these people on day one, you was going to be able to change the price of eggs. Nobody that had a fucking brain understood how you was going to do it. But you kept saying it in your rallies. You kept saying it to these dipshits that don't listen to logic. And we kept telling them, how can he do that in a day? What's he going to do? How's he going to do it? And they were all, he's got a plan. He's got a plan. What's his plan? He's going to lower it. Well, the lowering it part's going to be a strategy of some sort. These businesses just aren't going to lower shit just because Donald Trump anointed them to lower it. They in this business to make profit. Not to have feelings, nothing. The way capitalism works in this country, they don't give a shit about y'all. Me either. It's like, if they're losing money, they're going to charge you more. I ain't in the business to give profit. To give away profit. I'm to making it. So how do you think that these businesses are going to start eating these tariffs and losing money? It ain't a real thing. But somehow, some way, these people get stupider every day.
And now eggs are what they were. We got eggs down. We get it all down. But our prices are much lower. Their line is price is affordability. That's the new word, affordability. It's much less expensive under Trump. And and I haven't been here long. 9 months is not a long time. But look at what I've done to energy. Look at the price of gasoline. Going from $4.50 to $2.50 or $2.70, it's going to be $2 gasoline.
People want affordable.
Well, the economy is my thing, and we have the greatest economy in history.
She's like, people say they want affordable. Well, the economy is my thing. She said they want affordable, and what you're doing is not affordable. But he's not listening. He's trying to steamroll her. When she's bringing facts, he's steamrolling her to say, I don't want to talk that. This is what I'm going to say. And whenever she says something else that's not a little bit, this is what I want to say. And they capitulate. They back off and let him say what he's going to say. Not news again. None whatsoever.
Are Republicans not selling it enough?
Yes, the Republicans don't talk about it.
So they need to do a better job on Capitol Hill.
The Democrats give false talk, and the Republicans, and I said all.
He wants the Republicans to go out there and just talk about it. Y'all just talk about it, they'll believe it. They'll believe everything I say. Here's the thing, Donald Trump. Your MAGA minions, they don't give a shit about those people. And you know what gets me about this? Donald Trump has spent these past 10 years turning news into fake news. Anything against him is fake news. Celebrating his QAnon theories and taking part in this Pizzagate and all these different things that have happened. Desensitizing people, getting people to hate and divide them, getting his people only to trust him. That's the key right there. Getting his people to only trust him. So much so that he could say anything about these Republicans, and he could primary them by telling the people, we got to get him out. We got to get her out. We got to get him out. And that's what these Republicans have been fearing that want to stay in power, is he says something, his power will get them kicked out. So therefore, they've let this man run the gamut without actually doing their job, making money without having to work. So He's built this monster that these people don't trust nobody but Donald Trump. Now think about it for a second. Donald Trump, excuse me, wants these MAGA million leaders to go out there and trumpet what he's saying. It doesn't work like that, Trump. They can go out there and say it every day, all day. Have you seen them now, these Republicans going to these town hall meetings? These Republicans have been lighting their ass up. They stopped going. They stopped going to these meetings. They were out for 50 days, 40-something days. Oh, over that. We closed for 40 days, but they were out of office for like 50 days or so, 50-something. I didn't see not one. Maybe I missed it. But I didn't see not one town hall from them that entire time. They were running from the people. So, ask yourself, Donald Trump is out there, how are these people going to go out here and try to push what these people have? These are their lived realities. This is not telling somebody that we're building the wall. None of these people go see the wall. They just take your word. Telling them, things that don't necessarily deal with them on a day-to-day basis. They'll believe you because they don't want to believe the liberals or Democrats. But when you tell them that there's more food in their grocery bags per $100 now than there was than under Biden, they're gonna be like, food for $100, I had 3 to 4 bags of groceries. Easy. For $100, and now I literally got 1 bag and a half, if that. So how the hell 3 bags to 4 bags then equate to 2 bags now being more? It just makes no sense. I went literally, I was gonna, did I take a picture of it? I was gonna show a picture, not here, but it's kind of hard to tell. I usually buy these shredded cheese, like the Sargento type of like 4 cheeses and stuff like that. Sometimes I make like either nachos or a lasagna or something, right? I add this cheese into it. I went to go look grocery shopping just a couple days or so ago. And this cheese was no longer available in the size I normally got it. I'm like, I couldn't find it. Well, where's this at? So then I finally found one that was close to it. The one that's close to that size, like I said, like this cheese that I bought was literally $2.99, right? And that would sometimes be on sale. It's gotten up to $3.99 or some of that nature, but not really over $3.99. I couldn't find it. I found that same bag, but smaller. You can see it. Same bag that was like this, but smaller. And that one was $3.99. Small one. I found one that was just like mine that I had before. Took me a while to find it. That was $5.89. The one that used to be $2.99, $5.89. At the most, it was $3.99. It is now $5.89, regular price. It's crazy. And the one that's even $1 more than the big one is a smaller one. I was like, you ain't fooling nobody. You ain't fooling nobody. And for this fool to go out here, oh, it's cheaper. No, bro, it is not. It is more expensive right now. And we're getting tired, even Fox and all that. These people are out here struggling. I'll never forget on TikTok, it was this one lady when Kamala Harris was running, and also I guess his last election. And she like, it's too expensive. She and it was sad. Don't get me wrong, it's sad. She was like, what she sends her daughter to school with for lunch every day is basically cheese and crackers. And she has these cracker squares, or cheese squares. I don't know if she buys cheese and cuts it in squares or she buys it like that. But little small squares, the small ones, right? And she had them in a little plastic container. And she would show how many pieces of cheese she had left. And she was going on, this is under Biden. This is Biden's fault, blah, 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 on and on. Okay, that's your lived reality. I haven't seen this woman since. Cheese then was $2.99. I know because, again, I always buy these cheeses. But when she did that, I went shopping that following day or so. I had to go shopping. And I looked at the cheese. And I'm like, okay, this is like $2.99. That shit's like mine. It's up now. Over $5. She was crying about $2.99 being too high. Where's your video at now, ma'am? I haven't seen you on my timeline complaining about, I haven't seen any of them on my timeline complaining about how shit is high right now. Way higher than under the last Democrat. Sleepy Joe. We told them. They listened to a man that bankrupted 6 casinos. Can I black out Cheeto's picture? My stomach's starting to turn. All right, let me finish it off, man.
All the time. Republicans have to talk about the fact that prices are down. The Walmart thing is very important. When Walmart says
She's trying to
the
get in there.
Thanksgiving meal costs 25% less under Trump than under Biden, I mean, to me, that's better than.
So Republicans need to spend more time talking about how great the country is and less time complaining about the Democrats?
We have potentially the greatest economy in the history of our country. We have, again, Biden did in just a short period of time. Biden couldn't raise anything. No investment. I think investment went out of our country. I'm now at almost.
How? He had Build Back Better. We literally had money for all these chip organizations, bringing back the CHIPS Act, building, construction, new buildings and things of that nature. I mean, I don't understand how why can't people just be honest about all sides? I don't care who he is. If you like Biden, even when Biden did stuff I didn't like, I would say something about it. These fools, they're taking pain just so they can say this guy is right. He's not. Don't hurt yourself to make yourself right. It's crazy. It's insane.
Almost $18 trillion in 9 months. That's the biggest in the history of the world. China's never done it, never done anywhere near that. And all that money is coming in. It's investment. It's building auto plants. It's building AI plants. By the way, we're leading China by a lot on AI. We have potentially the greatest, already it is, but we have, when these things open up, there's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that
the
mean
Republicans have to talk about it?
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn. You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory, we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to put
How did we ever do it before?
Well, I'll give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made
Hyundai.
batteries all their lives. You know, making
Hyundai. She just said it. It's crazy how he's bringing up an example of how his enforcement fucked up a like multi-billion-dollar investment by kicking out the Korean people who were building this Hyundai plant. And they were, hold on, excuse me. They were doing this to train American workers. They weren't going to stay. These people were coming to train American workers. They built the factory. American workers are under training. These workers were going back to Korea. They weren't here to be here for good. They were literally on visas, which are just here temporarily. And they got treated like this, like criminals. They are there only because America wanted them to come there. They could have built a factory in their own country. And they got treated horribly. These people did not want to come back because they didn't want that to happen to them anymore. Under this Donald Trump racist regime of kicking people out of the country that are literally trying to help us. One of the biggest fuck ups they did. And he's trying to use it as an example that we need these people. Yeah, you need them because you fucked up, but they were creating jobs for Americans and they were training them to do it. Now he's fucking up again by saying that Americans are too stupid to have these jobs. They need these people to come because it's all intricate and detailed. And I'm like, yeah, but you hear what she said. How did we do it when you and I were young? I didn't know she was the same age as him, but when you and I were young, and we'll go into that in just a second before we finish it.
batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
All right. So he's trying to justify having people here. Yes, you can have people here. I'm not one to say to kick immigrants out. I ain't saying that. You know, they come for the American dream. That's cool. They come here to train us for the position. It's even better because they're investing billions of dollars so that we can have jobs in this country. Hey, I'm all for it. But like she said, how did we do it before Donald Trump? You got to think about it. You remember when we were in war, during World War II, where, 1940s, what happened to our men and women when the war was going on? Men and women all started working at these factories to build planes and bombs. And were they all geniuses in these factories building these bombs, not batteries, bombs that actually go boom, right? They were building bombs. They were building planes. They were doing all kind of scrap with metal. Not all of these people were welders of the year. They pulled resources from any and everywhere they could to get Americans to come and be trained to do these jobs, which were good paying jobs for those so many years, 4 years, 4 years it was. So how did we get American citizens to build bombs and plane parts and all this other shit in a matter of 4 years and making good money? And you're trying to tell us right now that we don't have enough Americans in this country that are smart enough to take these particular positions? I don't think you're tapping into the smart people, and I don't think you're trying to train them. You just want to hire somebody right away that you think is up to par. And it's got to be overseas. You don't know if Americans are up to par because you aren't asking for them. You're not even having a plan to find out who's the smartest engineer in America. You're trying your best to go overseas. And that's what Americans are pissed off about. And it's a bit the overpromise that Donald Trump told them. The overpromise. And what I mean by that is they made it seem like that our American citizens were going to get these factory jobs. And now you're starting to understand. Howard Lutnick said it. There's going to be jobs, there's going to be, some of it's going to be, AI and technology, but then we got to have some jobs. The majority of the jobs are going to be AI and technology. Many of the other jobs are going to be your 14, 15-year-old child. And some of the high-paying jobs will be the parents and adults. College kids, maybe. The living wage is not going to be a thing. So they suckered you the first time and told you they're going to take an industry away. We don't need the industries. That's just manual labor. We will just go have them do it for cheap. And then you could get like new jobs, tech jobs, whatever it may be. And you're golden. Didn't work. Now that China's figured it out, and other countries, Mexico, they figured it out by getting the scraps, that they can turn scraps into gold. And America's still out here trying to mine for gold and getting dust because we ain't got no fucking industries worth a damn. Right? Makes us vulnerable. If we ever go to war, we're going to need these countries to help us get shit we need to get because we don't build shit. Right? They should have been thinking about this a long time ago. Didn't think about it. So now he's trying to think about it. These people are trying to think about it. But it's got to be a long-term goal. It can't be something that you're talking about is going to happen. Donald Trump will be long gone. Meet his maker for at least a decade before any of this shit happens. If the next president that comes in wants to continue down the path of this debauchery that he's got going on. Industries can only be brought into this country little by little. And when it does happen, it's going to take 10 years to get like one good industry to come back. By then, China and these other countries, robots be making everything. We'll be 10 years behind. 10 years from now, China ain't going to even need no damn employees. 10 years, we're going to be where China is now if we bring an industry in right now. So the best thing to do is find new industries. Don't bring back the old ones. New ones, new frontier industries to do this shit so that we are ahead of the curve. Not chasing where China is now, because a decade from now, they'll be a decade ahead of us. I mean, but you're listening to greedy idiots tell you they got it handled. They do not. They do not. China's eating us. And this dude's like, we're ahead of China on AI. How? China comes up with a new AI like every fucking other week. And they don't even have the chips that we have. They have cheaper chips than us, slower chips than us. And their shit is whooping us in the ass every time they come out with one. It'll be like some random computer programmer come out here like, boom, here's mine. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And their shit can do 10 times better than our shit. Don't give me this. We're better than them. I'm not gonna buy that BS. I'd rather go out and try the technologies. Now, you may have gotten better than them in investing. You may own the market, maybe. That's something I wouldn't know about. But as far as the actual technology, come on, man. They had robots balancing this shit, doing flips and landing on one foot for like a decade before we even saw one come out of MIT or whatever the hell it is. What are you talking about? They're robots. They got like robots that look human, skin, everything. Like, what the fuck? That's a human? And we still here with these metal robots. Man, get out of here with this shit. These people don't build latex that looks like skin, and you talking about we ahead of them. I'm like, nah, bro. No, we're not. Where's our people at? Underwater waterways, you know what I'm saying? Highways and shit underwater. I mean, come on, man. Stop trying to sell that bullshit. Why don't we actually do it? That's one thing about America that I found out. America is the marketing capital of the world. We market everything like it's the greatest thing on earth. And then when you go to another country, be like, we ain't got one of them. How does that work? They got wonders out in other countries. Hell, in China, I believe it's China. It might have been Japan. It's an Asian country I saw recently. I didn't check out where it was from. The bullet train. I was like, we ain't got one of those. That shit so fast. I'm like, you don't need to be close to that. I mean, if you close enough, you dead. Because I saw it, it's just, I'm like, what was that? It was a blur. I can only imagine. I'm like, how are you on that thing and not stuck to the walls? I don't know how do you have to be in seat belts? I mean, I'm enamored by it. I'm like, what the hell is that thing? They kicking our butts and stuff. But it takes investing in your people, investing in your country, and our guys who are leading are always trying to just invest in themselves. Trying to get rid of the Department of Education. We should be doubling and tripling that so that our people are just as bright as other countries. We should have different ways of educating our people. We're learning about history and all this everything like that and math, and that's what we need to know. But if you don't really mesh well with those types of things, get the basics and then find out what that child, young adult, excels at and give them mad programs on that. If you got a kid that's great in math and computer science and all this stuff like that, and it's just something they're joyful about, take them out of all these other bullshit classes and put them in math and science and let them excel to be the genius they're supposed to be. And all this other stuff, push that to the side for a hot second. Give them the basics, but then buy and raise that child or those kids what they're excellent at. They don't need all the basic bull if it's never going to benefit them in the future. We got to build them for the future, not for the past. The old way of doing things, man, I don't see it working anymore. They need to know the basics of everything. But we need to get back to training them on skills that are going to pay the bills when they get out of school. When you start to realize that your kid is a hands-on type of person and that's how they learn, don't make them feel stupid and have them read a bunch of fucking books about stuff when you can see that that child excels with his or her hands and their brain. Then teach them that way so that they excel and don't feel like they're not good enough by putting them in areas in which they suck. Why? Because 10 years of that child doing programming and all that shit like that, 18 years, whatever it may be, getting out of high school and going to college, that kid don't even have to go to college. That kid's going to be excellent at being able to step into the world after 18 to be excellent at what he or she does, excelling beyond the wildest dreams. But if you always spending your time on basic BS that you ain't going to use because you don't really learn that way, then you're spending very little time on what you're great at and not getting that nourishment of, I am somebody. I am good at something. There's too many kids that graduate from high school, don't want to go to college because they spend their whole lives learning shit that just baffles them. But if you put them in front of a computer or you put them in front of a video game or you put them in front of some kind of woodwork They will work miracles with that shit. Turn a piece of wood into a Picasso. And we're sitting here like, oh, you need to learn this and this. No, put that boy in front of some wood all the time. I guarantee you, eventually this kid is going to be like this huge woodworking person that's going to be insanely wealthy by what they do. Why? Because this is what they do well and they enjoy. They need the basics, but focus them on what they're brilliant at, and then they'll start feeling value in this world. As opposed to like, I'm not smart as you are in math. You don't have to compete with me in math. You need the basics of math to live. Okay? If you got a job, you got in your mind, I love wood, work on that shit. You never know where that can take you. The creativity of it all. It's going to add so much more to you. And these are just examples, but that's the way I look at it. And if we reinvented the way we did stuff, we would start building or investing in the geniuses of tomorrow, the ones who may have felt they were not as smart when it came to like doing, social studies and math, but always was good at art. And school would cancel art every once in a while because it didn't have enough money if it was in public school. Cancel music. And this kid may know how to play the piano without ever taking a class. These things need to be pushed on. Focus on what this child is good at. Focus on how this child learns and put them in positions for them to thrive, not to struggle. Young people, once they're learning, when they're very young, if they learn that they're a failure, their mind clicks on the failure and everything. Even if they're good at it, failure comes to mind because they've seen themselves fail or get admonished more than they got themselves celebrated for what they can do very well. And they got talked out of what they're brilliant at because their teacher was taught the old school way. You ain't gonna make no money at that, but the factory's hiring. If we do that to our children will grow up to have the right mindset about who they are, the confidence about what they can do, and take risk because of the idea that I succeed a lot in what I do well. Too many kids are now asking questions in their 20s, graduating from college. You ask them a question, what do you do well? They have no idea. Have no idea what they do well at. That's because they weren't taught what they're good at to actually focus on. They've been taught a bunch of random stuff that made them feel average, and the thing that they're brilliant at that'll make them feel like a superstar, the school doesn't focus on that. That's not really nothing. And I remember when I was a kid, I was so excited about technology that I took a computer programming class. Wang 2200 VS80, the different program language, zeros and ones back then. My teacher was like, computers ain't gonna be that big of a thing. They're all huge, it's dot matrix thing. I don't see no future in it. You might as well just start, go to the shop and build cars. Those types of people need to shut it. Those are the types of people that don't see ahead, and they should not be teaching. Because that person talked many of us out of a very lucrative career. They couldn't see that computers was going to be the next greatest thing since fucking sliced bread, feel me? And they didn't see it. And told kids, many kids, even the ones that were excelling in the course, that it wasn't going to be nothing. Now, in certain people's families, they're like, you don't know what the hell he's talking about. And the kid continued doing what they were doing. But certain families don't have that support. And they listen to their teachers or counselors who should be honest in the fact that, I don't know what I'm talking about. Follow your passion. Do what you're doing. I know this starts off at $50,000 a year. This starts at $7,000. Just give advice or facts and whatever advice you may have. But don't push a kid in a direction that they don't know what's going on. You find out the information, give them the right information, or put them in front of somebody who does. That's the way I learned, and I tell people now because I had too many people in my life telling me to go this way and that way because they couldn't see the future the way I saw it. So I want to do that to other people. That's why I'm doing Avid Solutionist. I'm reading some of you guys' comments, man. Master of none. Gun toting lefty. Yeah. Jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. There's so many opportunities to do stuff. And when you got all these things in your mind about what to do, that's what I noticed, even with my kids and when I was younger, asking the older brothers and sisters and cousins, what do you want to do? That question when you grow up. And they don't know because they don't have anything that's teaching them how to survive outside of school. It's how to get prepared for the next class or course you're taking. It's what jobs make enough money that I think I can do and go train for that, instead of like, what things do I like to do and figure out how to make a living with that. Like I enjoy, swimming. I enjoy this, that, and the third. And what did I wake up and I want to do every day, and start figuring out how you can turn that into a career, as opposed to just settling for the factory in the community, or, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that if that's what you want, cool. But oftentimes we're forced in those type of positions. All right. So those are pretty much the things I was going to cover, because when he mentioned H-1B visa, Donald Trump, I saw a video and I went over to Twitter. Oh, well, they going the hell off, y'all. I don't know if they're still going off, but this was yesterday. It was yesterday, but it was older. The videos have been out for like a week or something like that. Right after he said this, I went and I saw these things here just yesterday. Oh my God. I thought these were liberals or Democrats. And then I started realizing, I'm like, wait a minute. They're literally saying stuff like, I voted for him 3 times. Fuck him. I was like, whoa, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? And I had to go back and backtrack like what they were talking about. And I said, you sure that's right? And they're all talking about the H-1B visas and saying these people, we don't have any smart people in our country. Fuck him. I voted for him, this, that, and the third. They are livid, yo. And like I said, with Trump and his people, it was a false promise. They made these people think that these jobs were going to come back and they're going to be living wage jobs for them. They didn't tell them it's going to be computers running the damn place and their kids are going to be the one running it. It's going to be tantamount of Disneyland or Six Flags. All the machines are running on their own. The kid is just pulling the lever. And if it breaks, go get the mechanic or go get the robot to fix it. That's what's coming for the future. Not the old clock out and, Fred and Barney Rubble clocking out. Woo, and everybody takes off. It ain't that shit. Clocking out and shit. No, it ain't that. It's going to be robots, children doing it. They didn't tell them that. And then the H-1B visas, that's Jeffrey Epstein. That's Elon Musk got here through that. Peter Thiel got here through that. The reason why they want that is because those are the ones who have been getting these visas and becoming wealthy in our country and basically saying F you to democracy. Those are people who aren't the American that came here for American values, came here for America's wealth. And so MAGA's highly pissed that they're just now finding out that Donald Trump never cared about them, never cared about giving them a job. You see, Laura Ingraham says, we don't have enough smart people here in America. He literally didn't even give that shit a hot second. No, we don't. You got to understand. I know we disagree on this, but he ran over it. You don't understand. We need these people. You guys just aren't smart enough. Now, didn't they get rid of Vivek Ramaswamy for saying those exact words? And he was brown, so he got thrown down. Elon Musk said the same shit. And because he's rich as shit, they left him alone. And he's white, of course. Vivek went on to try and run for governor or something. Was that recent? Did he try to run for governor here recently? Did he try and run? Is it? Let me see that. So we just had a race. I never saw Vivek Ramaswamy. Something like that. Yeah, I didn't see him. He was trying to run. Nah, he was running for Ohio. Nah, he wasn't even on the race, was he? I didn't see him because that's crazy. Somebody else won. I remember it was Donald Trump's, not Donald Trump, JD Vance's stepbrother or some shit like that was running and lost against another person. Because Donald Trump endorsed Vivek Ramaswamy for Ohio, and I believe it's for governor. He wasn't in the news at all. Is this election just recently happened with them? Huh. I'll get back to y'all on that. I don't know. More than Mississippi, which at least you know who your enemy is. Rude. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, you see the one, is it Penguin? Queen? Penguin has a bunch of compilation of MAGA comments. Yeah, check that out. I don't know if that was this one I saw. It might have been, but just insane. And the one I saw was long. So I went and checked out a bunch of them myself, and I'm like, oh, wow. But it's a long one that this guy did. I would say it's like 8 minutes or so. Something like that. All right. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to talk about today. Hope everybody's having a good day other than what's going on. Still working. Oh, I finally got my mug for Avid Solutionist. And I don't know if y'all know, Avid Solutionist is going to be filled with colors because I believe I see in color. You know what I'm saying? Focus on color, bright, keeps my mind. You know, this is what I do when I create. But that's it right there, Avid Solutionist. I don't know if you can see it up close, but Avid Solutionist is a mug. This is what I'll be using. That's gonna be the logo. That's gonna be on my outfits and shit like that. I'm so excited about it. Like I said, little by little, I'm adding to it. It says on it, Avid Solutionist, every problem deserves a solution. So we're gonna be doing that, and I can't wait. As we move closer and closer. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate you. I appreciate you big time. As I continue to build everything, I'll let you guys know about it. We're working on solutions. We're working on, and one thing I realized with this is that with every solution that we actually solve, no matter what it is, personal issues, whether it be business, whether it be life in general, whether it be finances, whatever it be in, that it's in, we're going to start putting the solutions that work into either a book or something of that nature so that people have access to it, and so that we have like a volume 1 of the solution for different things and be able to sell those to people to help with the agenda, what we're trying to do, building opportunities and solutions and economic opportunities for all of us. It's the we thing, not a me thing. Even the party that I'm still working on, I thought more about it last night, and I am going to do it. And the reason why is because I think it's time for us to let the world know what we want. Instead of like what each individual party saying. I don't believe both parties are saying what everybody wants. It's what the party wants and what they decide to use as talking points. And I want to mostly focus on what people want. Whether we're Republican, Democrat, Independent, or don't vote at all of us want a fair shot. All of us want to pay, fair taxes. And we're not going to be able to change their ideology until we can have enough of us to make a decision that fill up that gap and say, look, we're not voting for you. If the world's going to be fucked up, whether we vote for you or you, then what difference does it make? We don't want no dictator, don't get me wrong, but to vote for something without having our backs, and I think together will outweigh the billionaires. But we can't do it until we unite around having democracy, unity, in the America that I think we all want. But we all have to talk about it. So as I get closer and closer to it, we'll start having the lives. I can't wait to 2026 because I want to launch it beginning of next year. So I'm getting products, and I love the fact that you see the light bulb. And that to me, even building this even into a think tank as well, being able to, instead of a project 2025 and fuck all that, it's like, what do Americans want? And have that put together so that we know that nothing in these books will be harming anybody, only helping everybody. And finding out ways to do it, hiring, mathematicians and economists to make sure that what we want to do in America that benefits us all and bring back the American dream is solid and can be done through capitalism that cares as opposed to capitalism that destroys and that competes to the death. But I'm excited about it. And I think, it's going to be the next best thing that something that we've never had before. And that's finally listening to everybody's issues and finding a solution, not feeding you or gaslighting you with bullshit, giving you the facts and saying, hey, we would love to do it this way, but there's no facts in that direction to work on it, but we can do it this way, which is like somewhere between what both of you guys want, and it benefits us all. That's what we need. But we're so entrenched in our party so much that it's a tug of war. And if we just let go of the rope, all of us want the same things. Jobs, living wage. We want to do as best we can to help end poverty or lower poverty. We want our kids to have homes, and if you're a parent who's never owned one or an adult, we want you to be able to buy a home. You know what I mean? Be able to build more homes and to be able to invest in things so that everybody gets a chance to start building wealth. It's going to be different levels because some people are going to buy more than others, and some people are going to take risks more than others. We understand that. But whatever comfortable zone you want to be in, I want to be 100,000-aire, millionaire, whatever. There's no reason why you can't be able to achieve those things if you have the wherewithal. And plus, it builds our country. It makes our country stronger. You know what I'm saying? If you do right by me, we do right by each other, right? And that's the way I look at it. And, we're going to have a lot of naysayers that's going to say it can't be done because it hasn't happened. And I think it's time to venture into places that haven't happened because it's what we've always wanted. We just don't know how to get there. And there's never really been a plan. And I'm developing plans, not just words, how we do it. Each one of my little, ecosystem setups is all about creating economics, creating healthcare plans for us that we don't have to worry about the billionaires who fucking us over and this debate and all this other shit. I'm trying my best to solve it by the way we do stuff. Our buying habits just for black people is like, 1.6 trillion. Just think what it is for white people and Latin people, Asian people who are good people. With that amount, we could be able to turn the world around the way we want to. And it's saying we got to buy everything. I'm just saying is being able to figure out a way to do it and make it feasible and tell the people what is and isn't feasible based on actual facts and not constraints from government telling us what we can and can't do. This is something where the people decide outside of the government and their restrictions and things of that nature. As long as it's legal, we can do whatever the hell we want for us. You feel me? That's the way I look at it. All right. Good night, Rude. I see. Get some sleep. Take care, John. I see. Good night. Oh, John is gone. I take care, guys. I'm about to get out of here too. Much love to y'all. I'll see you guys tomorrow doing the same things, talking facts, and let you know more about what Avid Solution is and all the different programs that I'm working on for us and party and all that, because I'm just sick of what we're going through and every day having to deal with it. I don't know about you, but I want to get to a place before I get called home that good people are looking out for good people. And all these other people keep looking out for themselves. Once they see what good people can do for good people, they'll be jealous and want to be a part of it. That's the way I look at it. All right, you guys have a good night. Y'all be safe. I'll see y'all tomorrow. As always, I'll see you when I see you. Take care.